Good morning. Günaydın herkese tekrar. Bugün Biennalemizin 3. günündeyiz. We are on the third day of our Biennale. We had a wonderful opening ceremony on Monday, thanks to Middle East Technical University and also Emine İTŞKV. I can't see her, but okay, sorry. Yesterday, it was a great, gathering here as well. We were all together with Professor Tekeli and Professor Reda and our distinguished guests. It was wonderful. And today we have another speaker from France, Lyon, I guess. We have established this connection through French Embassy and French Institute. We would like to tell our gratitudes from here to them. Unfortunately, they are still in Zonguldak. They will come tomorrow and attend our student meeting as well. I would like to also thank, as always, all of the members of our foundation and our honorary president of the foundation, Professor Tekeli. We are here and we have collaborated all along because of our togetherness. And he has been a really mentor and guide for us. I would like to thank him, and I would like to thank Miss Anne Vial for taking all her time and coming here from far away to exchange her ideas and her experience in France for Ecoquartier developments and Ecoquartier program. It is my great pleasure to welcome you today. Thank you. And I would like to also, just briefly explain what Ankara Urbanism Biennale is about and what our theme is for this year, just for the newcomers. Our Ankara Urbanism Biennale is a two-year. I mean, we have been organizing these events in 2 years' time. So we had the first one in 2023, and this year we are organizing the second one. There are series of events included in the Urbanism Biennale. We have altogether presented some exhibitions, some talks like this, and some panels, workshops, etc. It has been very inclusive and very creative all along. And for this year, our theme has been neighborhoods and its transformation. From the very beginning, we have emphasized neighborhoods, and all of our ideas have been gathered around the topic of neighborhood. We have expressed a lot of things about neighborhood culture, urban transformation, spatial identity, the citizens. Actually, yesterday's speech was also about participatory planning. With the super block projects. The optimism of Professor Reda affected all of us, I think. For Ankara, if possible, we would like to, of course, adopt some of the strategies, if possible, to Ankara and implement it in Ankara. We hope to have optimistic points of view for planning, even though everything seems to be black. For this event, I would like to look from another optimistic point of view, which is ecological developments and ecological settlements. Ecoquartier is a program developed in France, and I think Ms. Vial is going to express it and explain it better and in a more comprehensive way. I would like to once again welcome you here. Thank you for joining us today, and I would like to leave the floor to you. Thank you. Ms. Anne Vial.
So, I would like to thank you also because I'm very proud to be here. It's like quite impressive for me, but I will try to speak maybe slowly in English, and I will try to do my best to explain you some of our experiences in France, and also where I come from, so that you can understand more what we are going to do and what we are doing in the district scale, but also in other scales which are linked, also like public scales, but also developing territories, because it's all the scales, you know, are linked together, and it's very important to deal with all the scales. So, so I will try, here will be my presentation for this hour, and then we maybe have some discussion about some thematic point of view, specific topics that we can also discuss further, like participatory or mobility or public scales or also nature. But I won't have time in 1 hour to share you all all the different points. I will try to do my best also because I'm not a specialist on all these topics. I have different colleagues. As you will see, the CEREMA, I will present you what it is. And we are really an organization, a public one. And also we are working with different partners in France. And so that's why I can share this experience, which is not only mine. So I'm Anne Vial, I'm an architect, an engineer, and I'm working in CEREMA. So CEREMA. CEREMA is a French public agency, and what you have to have in mind is that we are working on climate adaptation and environmental transition. We have a national dimension where I work, but also we have a local focus. We have different places where we are working, as you can see on the map, and also different teams which are really dedicated to different topics. Here are the 6 main topics and main vision, main fields that where we are working on. But all these fields are really linked together, and when we deal with a project, we are picking some points of view of our colleagues, of different type of experts, the different sharing experiences. Thank you. The first one is urban and regional planning and strategies. It's the one where I work, and I will speak more about this one. But also we are working on buildings, working on mobility, working on transport and infrastructures, environmental and risks, which is very important in Turkey, for example, and also sea and coastline. Here are the 3 main missions that we are dealing. So we are supporting local and regional and natural authorities with their projects. So everyone is specific, as you will see. We are really not doing the same in every project, but with this support, we can share each other with the one with each other, so it's very important. And then to produce some knowledge. With this knowledge, we are doing some standards, but also good practices. We are doing some editions and sharing the tools, the methods that can help the cities and the different territories. And which is important is because we are a public agency, every tool, every method is free and accessible, so you can find some of them in English on our website, or also in French if you have to translate, but now it's more easier with today. And also we are conducting some research and some innovation that will accelerate these ideas of sustainability, and also it's very important. So here you can see some missions and some figures about this specific of research, which is linked also with the supporting locals. Sometimes when we are doing a mission, we are doing it with some experts like who are doing more research. Here was just some, I spoke about it. And we are also working at international level, which is not our main point, but it's a position that is important to share also experience and knowledge, as here in Ankara today. and to support also European policy, to have also contribution in some kind of cooperation that we tried maybe in Zonguldak. And we realized a different type of missions for this international level. So now, if we focus on our activities on urban development and territorial development, so I will say, I will share this presentation, so you don't have to write everything, so don't be scared. So here are the main areas of our intervention. We are working towards sustainability, of course, but in a territorial transition and also then in the different scale of urban planning and then public spaces. We also work, what is very important in France, and I'm sure it is in Turkey, about land resources, how to be very, to spare land, not to spare land, and then to develop some project on brownfield sites that are the sites where there were some uses and no use anymore, with all this transition like for the one with that there were some activities and now we have to transform them. For these main areas we have different solutions and also different tools that are some of them really national tools, and some of them really specific for one city or another. Here you can see some photos and some of our activities, several missions, which are part of them national ones and part of them local ones, local programs. And for them we use these tools that I spoke about. And also we give some advice about urban planning at different scales of the city. We are also dealing with their own needs. Everyone is really special. And then with all that, we have to deal with their project and all the stakeholders that are different one to another. With the same baseline, that is climate change. We are also dealing with training sessions and sharing experience, as you can see here. For them, we are sometimes using some innovative methods. We are dealing with sometimes serious games or sensitive walks that can help the stakeholders to understand their environment. So it's important to also involve the partners, the stakeholders, so you can use different kind of tools. We have also some dedicated online resources, which is important in CEREMA because we have our own production, editorial production. And it helps us with the mission. I try to take some of them in English. I have few of them, but you can find some of them on our website. Not everyone is in English, few of them. But you can translate and we can use different methods. We share also on networks these resources about climate, about the specific topic of district. We also have a special community. And here you can just see some pictures of our mission abroad in different countries, as you see. We support some European programs, as I told you, and also some delegation with other partners. Each of them also is special, and for them sometimes it's just once, and like in Japan it was just one expertise. But in Romania, I will tell you more about that just after, it's a long time experience. We have the beginning, and then, as you know, for urban planning or other project, it takes time. So you have to go, to speak, to focus with the stakeholders on their special needs. And also for them, it's important not to just to give our advice in French, but also to understand the special needs of the countries or of the cities, and then to see how they can do it in their way. So now, I will try to give you some words about these special topics that we are dealing with resilience and climate adaptation, because it's the beginning of everything, and when you have to deal with the district to have the project, you have to deal with the climate now. So, as you know, there are multiple crises who are becoming more frequent and intense. So, with this climate, you see it's really important to have this in mind, because in Europe and in Turkey also it's very abnormal and really more frequent and intense. And okay, I won't be too long, but you have to deal with this. So in CEREMA we are working on resilience, which is the way to anticipate this crisis, but also to be prepared, more prepared, to resist, to absorb, and then to encourage a transformation, just not to know what is going on, how we can do it better the other ways. So for that, we have to propose different type of solutions, but we have also to discuss with the different stakeholders and to understand the needs, the expectation, but also the specific issues. They must be prepared. So for that, we have an expertise, and we understood in different cities what was going on. We did some analysis, some benchmark, and then return of experience, which is the way we are working, to contribute and then make a specific dedicated tool that is called the Resilience Compass, that you can find in English. It's a framework for assessment, and it has these 6 levels, but it's also examples of actions and expected different type of action that cities or territories are dealing with, but it can also help the stakeholders to understand I would say the climate, but also the territory they are living with, and also to prepare for the next steps. Also, we focus on specific risks like flood or overheat. For flood, we understand the various type of risk. You saw, it's a specific topic for the CEREMA dealing with risks. And we promote also a comprehensive approach on that and providing support, but also see how cities or territories make some new type of project, innovative project, which deals with this type of risks. As you see, there are not just one risk with flood, but many types, and I'm sure you know that here also in Turkey. For overheat, we try to understand also and take them account in some projects, in urban planning, which I present you here is really linked with the scale of urban planning and districts. So we do some research, as you saw, it's one part of our topics, and we do some support, which mostly are upstream, and we do also climate diagnosis, not only by ourselves. We are working on Météo France, which is another public organization dealing with the climate. And we are modeling some local climate zone, as maybe you know them, because it's international. But then we are mapping them on specific in France. As you will see, I will just show you some examples, and integrate them into urban strategies or operational development. For example, we help some cities who try to transform their public space really in, it is the center of the city, so it has different streets and different public space that can't be completely removed, but how to deal with the overheat, which is becoming more and more frequent in France, specific in the south, but not only in the south of France. So as you can see, we focus on urban heating, but also on thermal comfort on this type of scales, dealing with the local microclimates. And here is just some examples of a few words on this local climate zone that we cartography. And we use some data. It's not my specialty, but I have some colleagues who are working on that. And it's really important now to have this knowledge, to do the project with the knowledge. And when we have some support, we use that. Here you can see on different scales, but I won't explain that. Now, I will have few words on sustainable and resilient district and public spaces. Also, I won't be too long on the scale of public spaces, but with the thematic then discussion, I have some more slides, so we can discuss further if we have time. At this scale also, it's linked with the other topics that I already told you, the different subjects, adapting to climate change and also preserving resources and having more harmonious districts that we can live in, that where we can work, when we can have a walk, and it's very important to deal with attenuation and adaptation. That is really what that now projects are facing. And to have an integrated approach from all these scales linked one to each other. In France, we have some regulation on urban planning where all the documentation are linked from one with another. So we have the regulation at territorial scale. Then you can focus on the city scale with this documentation. But it's not enough to deal with the project. Then you have to go further and to take consideration with all the documents, but also the need of the population and that you can also deal with. You have also to combine all the themes, all the topics that I already told you about, and crossing all these topics to have better projects and to have the support. So, as I said, we have the chance in CEREMA to have different experts on these topics, but sometimes, most of the time, we're working with other partners because we can't do just a project with few partners, helping also the stakeholders to choose the right partners, because sometimes our missions are very short, but with this mission, it's just to have the good way to have a project and not to forget all the ambition that you made to do all the steps at the beginning, in the middle of the project, and to have some evaluation about the project. And the culture of evaluation, I don't know how it is in Turkey, but in France it's quite low, so we have to do it, make it better maybe. And with an integrated approach, we try to improve these areas and districts' living condition with this systematic view and approach to combine our national and local expertise and to promote local knowledge, and also to guide the cities with all these topics. Sometimes it's quite hard, sometimes with the scale of some cities that we are dealing with, there are not too much expertise. Sometimes it's just a mayor and a small team. So we have really to share and to make them understand. And sometimes they already know what they want, but sometimes not. So for that, we use, as I told you, different ways. Here it's an online forum that we are working on. On this forum, you can have different type of experiences at different levels. So it's free also, so that you can share your own experiences. And we have also some debates. It's online, but we now with the new tools, you can have debates online. And it's very interesting to have to share the same goals, also because now, as you know, I don't know in Turkey, but in France, it became sometimes hard to go to an event to another presential event. So online, it's also good to have this type of forums. And as I showed you before, we developed a framework on resilience, but it's really at a global scale. And we tried with the same team to deal with this overall scale and the scale of district, and then to combine them in this guide, which is a document that we developed and that can be used for the project in response to all these challenges that they have to face with. And it's also interesting because you can have this overall experience and sharing all these different points, and not to forget one when you are dealing with a project. So here are just some short experiences and projects that we are doing now in CEREMA. This one is more a national program, more at a territorial scale, but also dealing with, after that, in district scale and in public spaces. It's a support for the local authorities on climate adaptation. And we help 23 authorities. And it's very interesting because we support them and provide expertise with really climate and risk vulnerability with the diagnosis and all the steps, but also in a collective way to deal with that, because everyone is now facing with that. So we have to share experiences, and it's a way also to share experiences and then to have a promotion and communication about some, I don't know, good experiences that can be useful for other authorities. So at the neighborhood scale, the Ecoquartier or Eco-district, you can use different names. We support this policy. I will talk a bit more about this policy after that, which is a national policy. But in CEREMA, we support it from the beginning, which, as you will see, is quite far away now. And we support the national policy, but also, as I told you, some local authorities. We support them with customized, also tailors operational support for their project, and giving some advice, giving some methodological guidelines. And I will just show you an example of that. For example, here it's a really small town that we support. It's called Planquette. I won't tell it in English. I don't know how it can be pronounced. It's in Brittany, and as you see, it's really a small town because we are dealing with really different scales of town, which are sometimes really rural, sometimes more metropolitan. There are really different type of scales in France. And for this one, it is a polluted and urban wasteland and also a flood zone. So as you see, there are all these topics dealing with each other, but also close to the train station, and they want to transform it. But they don't know how to deal with all the topics, how to transform that. So with this program, Ecoquartier, but with the special help that we have, it is for 3 years, which almost 12 days per year that we are helping these authorities, which is financed by the city, the ministry, and the CEREMA. We give some advice and expertise on financial statement, but also support citizen participation, as I told you, support also implementation for the assessment process and the implementation of innovative action. Also giving some advice with the tools that I already told you, and sometimes more specific support. But here is an example. If we are supporting 45 cities at different type of levels and different type of scales, and each one we have a dedicated support which is not the same. And here are some success, some weakness, but also some other the next steps that we have to do, not only CEREMA, the local authorities, the local partners, to mobilize economic stakeholders and to prepare the operation, because we are just giving some clues so that the project can be real, can be true, but we are most of the time at the beginning of the project. So as you know, it takes time. Here about the public space scale, some expectation that maybe you have the same in Turkey. Now in France, this type of public spaces, roads, but also parks, squares, etc. You spoke, I'm sure, yesterday about them. We want them more walkable, more room for bicycle, which is not really a topic here, as I saw, but also spaces for socializing and meeting people, and also more natural space. And because of all the things that I told you before, recovering the soil, managing the water, which is really a huge subject also. So with all this expectation, we have different kind of projects, and I just give you a few words here, and I will give you some more information after that in the specific points. But really, what is important is to plant, to develop some pacified paths, specific around school, we have different type of project around school, so that it can be less cars, more space to play, more space for vegetation, and more space for pedestrian and cycle. And sometimes we also do some tests, some experience, and using some active design. I will show you that later. Now, about Ecoquartier, which was the meaning of the conference today. So I will just give you a few words, because I'm not the ministry who is dealing with this policy, but I know it very well. The Ecoquartier is really an approach which is quite old in France, and it's not so common, because in France, as you know, some policies are going on and then changing. But it's interesting because it was founded in like more than 10 years now, yeah. Almost 20, but not exactly. But it has different steps, and the Ecoquartier from 10 years ago are not the same today, because it has changed also all the approach, but also the way the people are doing the project and the specific topics. 10 or 20 years ago, we didn't speak about resilience, climate change. We didn't speak so much on participation, a bit, but it was like few projects. Now, these ones are really the basic. But then you have to go on with the other consideration like resilience and experience doing pushing some topics more further. In France now, eco-quartier, eco-district, eco-neighborhood, you can call it as you want. It's a label, but it's also a framework that that is in English also, that you can find it in English, but also a club to help the local stakeholders with that project, as I already told you, to have more ecological, inclusive, frugal and creative cultural and economic values in this kind of project. There are more than 5,000 projects at different stages in all contexts, as I told you. Some of them very rural, some of them very metropolitan, and some of them it's really different one to each other. Here is the framework, the guide to sustainable development. It's very important because this guide, it's really a guide at every step, as I told you, of the project, and it can help the stakeholders or the different partners. It includes 4 dimensions and 20 commitments to support these stakeholders. Everyone is linked to another, but sometimes it's good to have some question or to have some methods or to share experiences, one commitment to another, or including in the dimension is maybe more pedagogical. I don't know if we use this term. The first is really linked with the approach and procedure, the second one with living condition and uses, and the third with territorial development, and the last one, environment and climate. Which is what is very important is that now the projects are dealing with the adapting to climate change, and also biodiversity, and living together, rebuilding the city on the city. The eco-quartier that were built 10 or 20 years ago were not really dealing with these terms, but some of them, they were like innovative ones, that you can find some good examples also in old eco-quartier. But now it's really this kind of topics that are really important for the cities. Some words about our international help with the eco-quartier in Europe, most of them, and all the world, and specific in Romania, because it's really maybe the most helpful help that maybe we have, that continues now. As you can see on this map, we have help in different type of country. Everyone really specific, as I already told you, with the own answer, respecting also the culture, the history, the style, the tradition. And we have several initiatives who are now in Colombia, Romania, Mexico, and also Africa. Some of them, as I told you, were just once, and some of them continue. So in Romania, it began in 2 years ago. We had a delegation, with also the French embassy. And we did a conference, some workshop, but we also helped the French embassy with a competition that is called Orașe Durabile, and which means sustainable cities. And with this competition, we used the framework, the Ecoquartier framework, to select some Romanian cities with their project. And then, after that, we helped them with their project with this framework, but dealing with their own needs. So we had different type of workshop, we have different type of visit, and then step by step, helping them with their project. We support the two winners, but then we had another round of the same competition, and there are 3 more cities also that were selected and also being helped with us, but not only with us, also with some more local authorities, and also the ministry was very involved, the local ministry, so in Romania, and then he had a local support, and then some other support like an international one, which is called ETI, which came from France, and who is working with the Romanian ministry for 2 years, helping them developing their own tool, then their own experiences and their own groups, because we're just giving some advice, pushing some, I don't know, some tools, but then they have to put it them by themselves. So now it's really the launch of the Ecoquartier platform, the Romanian one, and also still continue to support the winners. And then in December, we will have the first step, because I didn't show you, but there are different steps of the label Ecoquartier in France. And in Romania, it will be the first step, so it's not Ecoquartier, it's Eco-project for the 2 cities that we supported for 2 years. So it will be the first one, the first step that they will have, and then they will have to deal with their project with maybe this framework and these different actions. As I told you, it continues now with this support, and they are developing their own skills, and these new projects are part of the Sustainable City and Eco-Neighborhood Initiative, and we are dealing with this eco-project platform in Romania, and hopefully to develop and to exchange more different sessions where leading, some of them in Romania, some of them in conferences like on computer. And here are some photos of the districts and the different cities, but some of them, as you can't see here, are very small cities, and some of them are more global ones. I will now tell you some words about this specific project, and it will be, I think, the end for the first part. Here it's the case of study, so just it's not mine, it's from the city of Lille, so I won't share you this part because it's just, I just take it from them, but I think it's interesting because it was already translated in English, so it was easier for me to take this part, and also to share these good examples of what the cities are dealing now, and a real experience of maybe an eco-quartier. It's not an eco-quartier now, but it can be, it could be. So it's a neighborhood which is called Concorde. It's in Lille, so it's in the north of France, and it's really a social neighborhood. Most of residents are really vulnerable, very poor, and it has specific helps in France, with another public agency which is called En Rue, and it helps this specific district which have some specific problem like inequalities and environmental also. So the majority of the homes require some renovation, but also you have the need of a social need also, which is linked, and to transform the urban planning with this function. As you can see, it's all linked together, and you have to face with this type of district. So the municipality decided to have this ambition renovation, but also to deal with the health, which is linked with the different topics that I already told you. And so they have some, this project was linked with the determinant of health. I don't know if I can say it in English. And also the global health, One Health. I don't know if you know this concept, which is linked with the not only human, but also the soil, also the animals, so that are all linked together. And it's really the concept how you face with this One Health. So that they, with all this approach, which is also global, the aim was to transform this neighborhood for the residents, for more well-being, but at every stage, and through the project creating really a pleasant and healthy resident living environment. Now the project is not finished, but you can see some of the steps which they passed, because it's, as you see, a long-term project. So here you can see the main objectives. And here you can see a map was really linked with this positive health and environment neighborhood approach, which offer different housing options, but also public spaces, also roads, but also some different specific issues on low carbon neighborhood, which is also linked because of the emission and to have more adapted environment for every inhabitants. Here you can see the program on the different buildings. Some of them were rebuilt because it was too hard to transform the older one, but other one will be still on and will be transformed. And also you can see there are different type of function, which is really important in Ecoquartier or in good well-being quartier, and also public spaces, and also all the roads, some of them for the cars, but less and less, and more of them for pedestrian and for cycle. So the result is that you have some innovative project for the buildings, like this one. This one was very important because it was a mix of service, and it was very interesting for the environmental part, but also the social part, because there are some inside a project for nursery and childcare center, so it's really linked also with the health. And here you can see some of the project transformation of the soil and of the public spaces, because they were dealing also with a huge noise of the huge highway road near to the district, and they have to face with that. So it was also a technical project, but also a social one. So as you see, you can have a response who is a response more global. And here you can see some pictures on this transformation on the productive urban farm. I don't know if you have such urban farms here in Turkey, but in France it can be a response, because it helps also diversity and social cohesion, and also it can be a support food supply for transition, also to be also it's a response for the health to have a good, to eat good with local products and develop employment and training opportunities, because the people who work here are linked with the district. So it's interesting also for this part. As you can see here, it's really a project that support other local projects and including local stakeholders. So they are really this association who were here already but are now linked with the project, and more qualified people, more involved with the district project, more involved with the city, and really to have like a special way in the district that maybe they didn't have before, and with different key events that can be really like parties also, or to involve the people, but different workshop. And also linked with the first dimension of the framework that I told you, the approach with the project, the stakeholders from the city, which is you have to measure the impact of all these assessments and then to cross all the lines to develop the project. And here some success factors to be supported. So you can have cooperation, and means also different way to finance and cooperation. So just to finish, I don't know if I'm okay with the timing of this part. I just wanted to give you, for me, I don't know if you share this, some learning for me for here, for Turkey is, or everywhere. It's really important to have this invariance and to in really the development plan, and also have the flexibility, because as you saw, these projects, they take very long time, sometimes 20 years, because it's very long to have all the discussion of the project or the foundings, etc. So it's really important to maintain this flexibility, because as I told you, it was not the same topics 20 years before than now. So for this long term, you can also have some smaller projects, like I will show you, some active design project on our public spaces, or to involve also the citizen. The second learn is really the huge one, because to anticipate climate change, because of urban project now, you can put them here and not to be aware. So it's really important, all the responsibility to take the future in account for stakeholders, but also citizens, which can be a bottom-up project that can be linked to the global ones, and to involve local stakeholders at each stage of the project. It's really now in France more and more, but it's not in every project. But you can change some things with the citizen or other association. Thank you.